Yeah, thank you all for being here to cover our program in this game. Honored to be in this game, excited about the opportunity to represent the West in the conference championship game. Really proud of our players for their effort all year, and just fired up about having the opportunity to go play for a championship tomorrow. So credit to our guys. With that, questions?
Open up now for questions.
Sumrall, how fast is going this week? What's the energy tonight?
Energy's been good, Josh. Last couple weeks, the hardest part, clinching the opportunity to play in the game a couple weeks ago, the hardest part for me was I felt like making sure our guys were at task and standing to arms to make sure we prepared the right way to finish the regular season off. I can honestly say that when we got to Monday's game prep, I didn't have to say a whole lot for them to kind of kick it into gear. I felt like a couple weeks ago on Monday, I felt like I was going to have to do something dramatic to get everybody focused to get ready to play the game the right way. This week, not so much. I think our guys have been very dialed in.
Coach Nick Brooks with WTVY. Obviously, your second year in a row of being in this game. Just kind of talk about, the learning lessons of last year, trying to prepare for a game like this, and how it's helped you guys this week.
Yeah, we prepare this game from a schedule, and battle rhythm is the term I use a lot. The battle rhythm does not change for a game of this magnitude. Yes, it is a big game, and yes, it's a conference championship game, and there's a trophy at stake and all those things. But it doesn't change your preparation. If anything, to me, to be quite honest with you, I kind of calm a lot of things down. I try to make sure they're calm with their approach and don't get caught up in the hype. I get probably more fired up and emotional in games that are probably, to some people, just the normal game. In a game like this, I think you have to almost make sure you're focused on just doing your job really well. The emotional piece is not real hard in this kind of game.
Gunnar, this one's for you. Last year, obviously, Sunbelt Conference Championship MVP. Just talk about, what you guys are trying to do this year. Obviously, you probably want to be able to win that award this year again, but just talk about what you guys are going to be doing this week or tomorrow as you get ready to hopefully repeat as champions.
Yeah, I think last year after we won I think the following Sunday or the day after, we were talking about winning it again and getting back to this spot. And, as far as that award, I'm not really too concerned. I'm just worried about winning the game tomorrow and celebrating with our team again on the field like we did last year.
Gunnar, your last time at the vet, what's it going to feel like?
We thought that we'd get another chance to play here when we had senior night the other day against Lafayette, but it's going to be special. It's been a fun 6 years. I've enjoyed playing at this place. What are we, 12-1 in the past 2 years at home, and I'm looking forward to it tomorrow.
Thank you. Coach, what does this game mean to the team, especially with the ability to repeat?
Yeah, we never really brought up, repeating, and I had a lot of questions in the preseason about what are y'all going to do to defend. We've not talked about that. We've really just talked about being your best when your best is required, and the only way you can do that is push yourself to be your best every day, no matter what day it is, what part of the year it is, what the part of preparation is. It doesn't really matter. Just pursue your best daily. And so really haven't focused a whole lot on repeat, defending. Those things have not been a part of our vocabulary. What has been a part of my vocabulary with the team is complacency will kill you. And if you feel really comfortable about what you've done in the past and become complacent, you will get killed. And so to try to make sure our guys understand complacency is a killer. And that's human nature for a lot of people, is to do something good and then relax. I've done everything I can to try to help fight that off, and our guys have done a great job. In particular, our leadership, like these two guys, have done a tremendous job in really managing that and making sure guys stay focused at the task at hand.
Javon, what have you seen from App State on film?
I seen a well-coached team. I seen a great quarterback that has a good arm, that knows how to get the ball to his playmakers out on the edge. I seen an O-line that moves well together. I seen a really good wide receiver group, and Yeah, just a well-coached team that we're going to definitely have, like this week, take our time to prepare the right way, just communicate the right way because they do a lot of different things. So just being, like, this week has been very critical in just the preparation part.
Gunnar, this one's for you. After last year's performance, you plan on eating the same breakfast again tomorrow?
Yeah, it'll be the same thing. I mean, we have the same one every Saturday, so yeah, it'll be the same thing.
So what's breakfast? What's on the menu?
Eggs, bacon, hash browns, cinnamon roll. That's about it.
Now, a little bit more serious question, kind of going into tomorrow's game. You know, last year, we know the story arc of the season. This year, you've been the guy all year long. Just how's your mentality as a quarterback, QB1, maybe a little bit different this year going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, coming back, I mean, it was just strictly business. I feel like from that standpoint of coming back. I mean, I graduated in the spring. I didn't have to come back, but I wanted to come back and do this thing one more time and do it right. And like Coach Sumrall was saying, pursue our best every day. And I think that this team has done that. And like we started not how we wanted to, but I think after that loss to JMU, we kind of got rolling and we're pursuing our best every day. And I think we've continued to do that and go out tomorrow and do the same thing.
Now, one more for you, Javon. You know, this defensive line, you know, a lot of preseason hype. You guys have been excellent here at the end of the year. What do you guys need to do to have a big game tomorrow?
Just kind of basically what Coach Sumrall said, just stay our course. We don't want to try to do anything new. We always play with a chip on our shoulder, so that's the biggest thing going in. Just play with that edge, you know. Don't let off the gas. We have a great system in place to go out here and try to do things the right way. So we're just gonna go out there and execute and just try to do what we always do, cause havoc.
This one's for Javon. A lot of the fans kind of viewed this season and its success as a continuation of last season. They kind of take it all in one big lump, the way this team has produced. What are the differences between what's happened this year and what the team accomplished last year? Is it the same? Is it all similar, or are there distinct differences?
No, I think this is truly just a different team. You know, there's like the amount of people we had last year just willing, just do whatever it takes to win, and the amount of people we have now coming into something new they haven't seen before. A lot of freshmen coming in, just a new class, and the opportunity just to go out here and try to do it again was the goal from day one. So we have a great group of leaders like that just wanting to drive this thing in the right way, and of course, you know, with a new team, it's always going to be a bumpy road, but we were able to just smooth it out along the way just to be able to come and do what we wanted to do all along and get back to this spot.
Hey, Coach. So you know, last year you guys started 1-2 and went on to host and win the whole thing. You know, this year after the JMU game, 1-2, same tradition. Was there a message that you told your team, you know, knowing that you guys did the whole thing last year after winning the conference and starting slow?
Yeah, our message has been pretty simple in that regard. And I say keep, and y'all say what?
Showing up.
So I don't have to say a whole lot. Like I say keep, they say showing up. Our biggest thing is through good things, keep showing up. Through bad things, keep showing up. Stay the course. Don't get distracted by the highs and the lows. And if you keep showing up and you have the same approach to everything you do, outcomes will happen the right way. And, you know, very disappointed early in the year with maybe a couple outcomes that didn't go our way. But our messaging has just been keep showing up all year. And if you just keep showing up and you have the right mindset and we stick to our core values that I believe strongly in, I think these guys have really brought to life with our team, good things happen. And so real credit to our team, you know, and not to go too far on it, but like the question Javon got asked, is it a continuation or are these two teams very different? This team is very different. Last year's team, I knew we had great people and great leadership. I didn't know how good we could be. This year's team, I knew we could be really good. We had like 60-something new players, and I was very uncertain of what our mental makeup was and our character early on, and our toughness and our grit and our dependability. I was not sold on early. They have proven to me they got the right makeup. It's taken a little bit of time, but they've done it.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, Coach, is this team playing with a bit of an edge after the Hail Mary loss last year?
Not because of that. I don't like going back to defending the conference title or wanting to repeat. we have zero concern about. I've talked very little about that game. I talked for about 15 seconds on Monday's meeting about that game and not mention it the rest of the week. It's got no bearing on this game. We play with an edge and a chip on our shoulder regardless. I mean, that's how we play. Like, that's kind of what defines our program. And so I don't care who we play, where we play, what time we play, if it's on ESPN or ESPN++, we're going to play with a chip on our shoulder.
Coach, I've got one question for you and then one for Javon. I just lost it. A stat that I've heard a couple times over the past couple weeks, Gunnar is one of only, I think, 43 or 47 six-year seniors that has not transferred. Just talk about how important it is to have a player like that and to hear a stat like that and what you think of that.
Well, he's a tough dude, number one, physically and mentally. He's been in every scenario you can be as the quarterback. He's been the starter that won the job. He's been the backup that didn't win the job. He's come into the years and replaced a guy. He's been replaced, and it has not changed his approach. If anything, the last 2 years, I talked a little bit about earlier this week. Gunnar, when we got here full-time, took the job in December 21 and got here really full-time January 22, and the young man that sits over here next to me was a college kid that happened to play quarterback, and now he's a quarterback that goes to college. He's become a football junkie. You walk by our staff, our offensive coordinator's office, and he's in there by himself with the O-staff's meeting Monday through Wednesday by himself, watching tape on his own and contributing to the game plan. He's going in there giving them ideas. He's just led differently. Last year when we had a spring practice about 7 or 8, and the offense for the most part of spring ball had really been ahead of the defense, Gunnar called the offense up in their first bad practice, about practice 7 or 8, and let them have it. And he really grew as a leader, which we didn't have much of when I got here as offensive leadership, just to be honest. And this dude has been a leader. He's been tough. He's been a consummate teammate. He cares zero about the individual accolade. He's all about the team.
Gunnar, to follow up on that, what changed for you mentally, after that championship MVP last year, going into this offseason? What led to, as Coach has said in the past, just an increased work ethic and an increased level of leadership for you?
It's kind of like I said earlier, coming back for the 6th year, it was strictly business. And when I made that decision, I told Coach Sumrall and Coach Craddock I'm going to be all in, and I'm going to do what I have to do with the other players like Javon, the Dale Pettises, to get us back to where we were or where we ended the season at. And I think that was the biggest thing, just making that decision to come back and really take it, be all in with what Coach Sumrall wanted to do, what Coach Craddock wanted to do, and just be my best.
Coach, you mentioned a couple early season setbacks, and yet you had a bunch of 60 guys that you weren't sure of. Was there a turning point in the season where you're like, all right, these guys might have it now to see?
Yeah, the next week after the JMU loss, we played Western Kentucky, and they're a really good offensive team. We outgained them a lot in that game and won the game by a whopping 3 points. We outgained them by like a couple hundred yards. And then the next week played at Georgia State, and they were 5-0 going to that game, and we really went in that game and controlled most of the game. And I started to kind of see the team build confidence. I also felt we started to play with a tougher mindset and more of an edge. And then I also really saw a team start to connect and come together and really care for each other deeply, which I think has given us a little bit of an extra edge. Our guys have played for each other. Anytime you're blending a team of 60 new guys with 60 returners, trying to get that team to be cohesive and have that connectivity is probably the biggest challenge. And to see that come together through that adversity early in the year has been very special.
Hey, Coach. So I'm sure you've seen the forecast tomorrow and how it's going to be a lot of rain like last year's game. And knowing how successful you guys are when you rush for, say, over 100, 150 yards, do you think that plays into your hands a bit?
Well, they run the ball good too. They're a run-first team as well that takes shots off their play-action game. They take about 8 to 10 deep vertical shots a game, but App State for years has run the ball really well. So I think this is going to be a physical tough game, rain or shine. And so, the forecast today said it was going to rain all day, and it didn't rain very much, so who knows? Welcome to Troy.
Javon, this question for you and the defensive front. You guys have been so dominant the past, 3 or 4 games, multiple sacks. How important is it for you guys, to get in the backfield, whether it's sacking the quarterback or tackles for loss?
Yeah, I think right behind a defensive interception, I think probably sacks is one of the biggest things that can set an offense back, especially on like early downs or of course third down when you try to get off the field. And I think as a defense, we come into the game and we want to dominate the game. We play with that huge chip on our shoulder to be that defense that can go out there and quickly give offense and them just giving them a chance to score. Quickly give us, go out there. Why can't we score ourselves? So we just want to be that dominant force to go out there and just put it out to play, put it all out on the line for each other. And I think that's the biggest thing about our defense is that we do play for each other. We've been together I've been with Dell, Reddy, this guy Rich. I've been with them for years, and to go out the line and play for them, that's the easy part. So we're just gonna go out there tomorrow and just try to be the most dominant team on the field.
Last one here, Katie.
Yeah, this one's for you, Gunnar. Coach mentioned your dedication to being in the film room Monday through Wednesday. What have you seen from this App State defense? That's shown a lot of improvement throughout the year, going from kind of being a middle pack of the defense to playing some really impressive ball in the month of November.
Yeah, we've talked about this early in the week. I mean, they thrive off turnovers and TFLs. Their D-line's a big and athletic D-line. Their DBs are all good players, and they have a returning linebacker, or really 2 returning linebackers that are good players. So we'll have our hands full, but I think we'll be ready tomorrow.
Yeah, great. One, I just want to say thanks for everyone being here and covering the Sun Belt. So really appreciate the exposure and the opportunity to tell the great story about the Sun Belt Conference and our wonderful football. I want to start by commending, obviously, App State and Troy. So on great seasons in terms of making the Sun Belt Football Championship. So it's going to be a great game tomorrow, and I'm really excited about the football. So I also want to just commend all of our programs. This has been a banner year for Sun Belt football. We've got 12 bowl teams. Think about that. We've got 14 total teams. 12 of them are bowl eligible. Our entire East Division is bowl eligible, so not really something you've heard a lot about. That leads FBS, ahead of the ACC, I think, has 11, and then the SEC has 9, and there's several other conferences that have 9. So we're really proud of that, success, really proud of what it shows in the non-conference. We have the most non-conference wins of any non-autonomy conference. And the best winning percentage in the non-autonomy conferences. And we also have a winning record against every non-autonomy conference. So it really has been a tremendous football year, and looking for a great game tomorrow to kind of culminate that. Also, if you think about it, over the last 2 years, we've had 8 wins over autonomy conference teams. Which is just outstanding. So we had 4 more this year and really kind of kept that going. We had our 2nd consecutive college game day, which obviously shows the respect that folks have for Sun Belt football. So we really are rising and continuing to reach for new heights. I would like to say that it's not really just about football. We really have shown just really good movement in a lot of different sports. If you go back to last year, we really have been a multi-bid league in pretty much every sport, starting in the spring last year with men's golf, baseball, softball. Then this year in the fall, we multi-bid league in women's soccer, men's soccer, and then volleyball just got 4 teams into the NCAA tournament, and then you put 12 bowl teams on that. So it's a comprehensive league in terms of success. It's not just a football league, although this is a football championship game press conference, so I probably should talk a little football, and we're excited about that. This week, we are going to honor Wright Waters, and so he is a former Sun Belt commissioner, but he really is the architect of Sun Belt football. It was really him and the CEOs that made up the board at the time in 2000, 2001 that really set the groundwork to start Sun Belt football in 2001. So all these great things that I'm talking about would not be possible without Wright Waters and his great accomplishments. He signed our first ESPN agreement, and he also started the New Orleans Bowl, which was really the first bowl partnership that the Sun Belt had. So we are going to spend some time celebrating him tonight at a reception and also at a game, and we're really excited and just want to thank Wright for everything he's done for Sun Belt football. So again, hats off to App State and Troy. Really appreciate Troy hosting this event. They really have been wonderful. Looking for a great game tomorrow. And with that, I'll open up to any questions that folks might have.
That's not fair. I don't know if you have a schedule or a timetable or anything like that with the inclusion of the 4 schools and all that, that this league has become so proficient. Is it a little bit ahead of your schedule? I mean, is the proficiency or the accomplishments, is the notoriety and the exposure a little bit quicker than you thought? Maybe it would be a little bit faster playing?
Yeah, I don't know that. I think what I would say, the way I would answer that is 12 bowl teams is a lot. So I don't know that I saw that coming. But I knew that we would be a really good league. I really like how we're based in the regional rivalries. If you think about this year, we have so much growth from a fan standpoint, statistically in that regard. So I do think this is headed in the direction that we thought it would. But, I mean, to have a whole Division Bowl eligible, to have 12 bowl eligible teams, I would be winning a lot of lotteries if I could say, I saw that coming, and so that's really a testament to our schools. Everyone's really stepped up and invested in football in the right way, and we added some programs that really cared about football with programs that already cared about football, and it's been a really tremendous start. So, I don't necessarily want to say we're ahead of schedule, but it would have been hard to say you saw this coming.
Obviously, you mentioned all the success this year. You get 12 teams into a bowl game, but we've only seen one Sun Belt team ranked at any point this year. What would be kind of your message to those voters as they start to, look at Sun Belt schools for the remainder of this year and into future years with the success of the league?
Yeah, I think strength of schedule matters. Who you play, and certainly trying to go through a gauntlet that is the quality teams that we have, where you're playing 6, 7, 8, 9 bowl teams in a year. Is really difficult. And so I think that's a really important part of who we are and how we should be evaluated, which is obviously you've got to win a predominant number of your games no matter how hard your schedule is. But, a 2-loss team versus a 1-loss team versus a 0-loss team, strength of schedule matters. And I think Troy certainly deserves to be ranked and certainly has done everything in this football season to be impressive to voters and to folks in the CFP, and we certainly have made that case to them, and stand optimistic that certainly depending on how outcomes happen on Saturday, that there's some optimism that maybe they'll be in that final CFP poll.
Does the Sun Belt have any say in where the bowl teams go, and who says no to JMU playing the winner of Troy App State?
Well, let me answer your first question, and then you can ask your second question again. So your first question is yes, the Sun Belt. We work with our bowl partners and our media partners to figure out where all our bowl teams will be placed. So we're kind of in that process now. It's a work in progress, and certainly we have that all finalized by Sunday. Okay.
So the second question would be, is there any chance for JMU to play the winner of this game?
Yeah, I would say, look, I would never say that there's never a chance. What I would tell you, though, is it's not really our goal to ever have a Sun Belt team play another Sun Belt team in a bowl. And so I would say that, following that, we would do everything in our power to avoid that. And so unless there's some sort of mathematical thing that forces that to happen, I can't really see how that would be possible. All right, other questions?
Can I ask a basketball question?
Oh,
about how do you see this year's schedule overall trying to lead to more than one, just the automatic bid coming from the Sun Belt and getting a second bid at large?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You look at JMU's off to such a really good start in terms of where they are from a basketball standpoint. So I think that that's really positive because it allows us to, one, have a team that, certainly has wins over Michigan State and Kent State, which are two big wins that will be certainly helpful when we're in the selection room for selection of the NCAA basketball tournament. And I think that also gives our conference an opportunity to play, a team that is, it just helps us have quad 1 and quad 2 games, which at the end of the day, when you're trying to get at large bids, that's what's really key is playing in those upper quads. So, I think we're off to a good start. It's early. Certainly JMU's had some really good wins. We've had some other good wins around the conference. I think the Sun Belt MAC Challenge has been really helpful to us in that regard, and that's on the men's and the women's side. Our women went 9-3 in that challenge. They were at home, so they'll be on the road on the second half of that. And our men had some success in that challenge as well, so those are going to be good wins for us. So I think, our strategy in basketball is working. I think it obviously will take some time, but we feel good about it. We feel good about it. We've certainly seen how it's helped us in the other sports and certainly think in men's and women's basketball. If we keep kind of pressing the effort over time, we'll have multiple bids, in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, so on behalf of Chancellor Everett, our athletic director Doug Gillen, and our football team, we're happy to represent the East for a conference championship. And you speak of our conference as a whole, 12 of our 14 teams are bowl eligible, and it's going to be a great contest tomorrow versus Troy. I have a lot of respect for John and what he's done with this program, and but it's going to be a great college football at 4 o'clock on ESPN.
Open up now for questions.
Much has been made about the defense surge since you made the schematic change. Can you give us a not too deep football explanation as to why it's been so effective?
Yeah, we did make a change of how we call our defense, and really we've brought more speed onto the field. And that was the whole premise of things, is to get our best players on the field at all times. And you go back to the fourth quarter of Southern Miss, that's when it really started to click. And our players are playing with confidence right now. And on defense, it's react, and that's what we're doing. We're not thinking about things. We're playing loose, and we're having fun playing football. We're not worried about messing up. We're about making plays. And that's really carried on to our whole football team. I think we're playing loose as a football team right now. We're playing to win, not to make mistakes.
One in the back here.
You guys had some early season adversity, lost some really tough ball games. How did you keep the team together?
Well, we have a very connected football team. And if you have a connected team, you're a dangerous team. And I've said this all year long that we were close. And you go back and look at our losses. There were one-possession games, and where we had the lead, one was double overtime to North Carolina. We had the lead at Wyoming. Had a chance to win it versus Coastal, and fumble came up, and that was just a football play. A kid trying to make a play, and then Old Dominion, we had a chance to tie it in the fourth. So they're a close team, and we came back from Old Dominion. We made a decision that we were going to write our own story, and no one was going to tell us how this thing was going to end except us. And we went back to work that day, and started to continue to get better. And it's a great life lesson for our team. And when things get tough, we don't quit. We dig a little bit deeper, and that's what we've done. And I'm very proud of our whole team, the way they conduct themselves, the way they want to win, and the last 5 games have shown that.
Joey, this one's for you. A year ago, you're playing junior college football. Tomorrow, you're going to suit up as the starting quarterback in an FBS, championship game. Just put, this past year into perspective, kind of the journey that you've been on personally, and then as a football player with this team.
It's a blessing, you know what I mean. Coming from JUCO, I wouldn't say it's too much different. Skill position is pretty much JUCO. Is a lot of people bounce back, guys that didn't have grades or something like that. So the competition level at JUCO is very similar to this level. So, prepared me to come up here and play. And when I got my opportunity, I just took advantage of it and then figured out what I needed to do as a quarterback to help my team win. And from there on, the rest is the rest.
This is for Tyrek. I know we talked earlier about just the standard of the cornerback position specifically at App State. You wanted to come in and fill in that role as the next kind of great corner, and you clearly did that this season with making first team all conference. Could you maybe speak about the importance you've had as far as your growth this year and how you've been able to grow as a leader on this defense and really impact this team's turnaround in defense specifically and being on this stage?
Yeah, I'd say number one has to start with being coachable, not just absorbing what I'm coaching, but applying it. So I think that's been the biggest thing for our defense as a whole. Obviously we talked about that fourth quarter of Southern Miss. That's when it finally clicked for us. I think all of us started applying our coaching and just buying into what our coaches, want us to do, what we want to do as a team.
So, Coach, the football guys having fun with you, right? You all camp, you're having a football quarterback competition, and it doesn't last one game into the season. Talk about how Joey came along this season when he did not win the job, and yet by the second half of the first game, it was his job.
Well, it was a close competition throughout spring practice and throughout fall camp, and we made a decision at the time that Ryan was going to be our quarterback. And 6 plays into the game is a different story. And so Coach Ponce had called a run play, and as a head coach, you have 51% of the vote. So I said, no, we're going to throw it. So his first play in college football was a touchdown pass. And just to watch him, how he's maturated throughout the season. Joey has a very strong arm, and he can throw it from numbers to hash. And he's gotten a lot better just going through his progressions, knowing that every possession has to end with a kick. And check downs are first downs. And you can watch that throughout the season, how much he's gotten better. And he has a lot of great weapons on the outside that if you look at our team, not one person's the target every single game as he's spreading the ball around. And, again, just very proud of the way he handled the competition. And when his time came, he was ready to play. And that's what great players do. They wait for the opportunity, and when they do, they capitalize on it.
Joey and Tyrek, just your first year in this program, you kind of just speak to what it was like coming to Boone and being part of this program, what that experience has been like in year 1 for you two.
Yeah, I mean, coming to Boone, it was a little different for me. California, coming across like the world is, leaving on my own is a little different. But, I mean, I came here for a reason, Boone and App State was a program I wanted to see myself, and I've seen myself become a better player and a person. So, I mean, overall, I could just say it was a blessing for me.
I'd say for me, fairly similar to Joey. Just for me, I'm a lot closer to home, and just having the opportunity to play here, it's been great so far. And we came here, this is what we wanted to do, is to be at this position, and we've worked hard to get here.
This one's for you, Joey. Coach Clark kind of mentioned it. I feel like you've just been throwing it to anyone with hands in the receiving corps and the tight ends. You've been doing a great job of getting the ball to all your different targets. Kind of, could you speak to just the difference in variety of pass catchers you have, how comfortable you feel with them, and how you feel they're going to play in this game, this championship?
Yeah, I mean, coming into a game with 8, 9, 10 guys that could catch the ball, I mean, makes my job easier, you know what I mean? I don't got to worry about defense trying to double team one guy because the other guy's going to make a play. So just coming in and having all those weapons, I mean, it's easier on my part. Because I know everybody who I'm going to make the pass to is going to make a play.